Earlier this year, we had a great 2-day in-person event for futures traders, and I want to share the insights and the conversations as well as the presentations that we had across those 2 days. But first, I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of the event, as well as the sponsor of the streams every morning, Top One Futures. You can always find the links down below and get the best deal on their instant fundeds and their new Sim Pro accounts with code Evan. So make sure you guys check that out down below and give them a big thanks for always supporting the videos as well as the in-person events. Now enjoy the insights, the conversations, the presentations from these 2 days events. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.
So this panel, like we did yesterday, a little more mindset. This is about growth as a trader and seeing yourself a little bit more from that third person view, a little more third person perspective. Am I growing? Am I advancing into that person I want to become? Who is that person? What does he look like or she look like? What is he doing? What is she doing? You know what I'm saying? And I think often if you have no picture of that in your mind, you wander aimlessly. So hopefully through this panel, you can get a clearer picture of how these guys have seen that vision of themselves, the future version of themselves that they wanted to become, and how they stepped into it. So first question, I'm going to ask all three of you this. Ev, you can go first. How do you define a great trader, and how did you know that you were becoming a great trader?
I would say a great trader is someone that's, like you said earlier, hard to kill, adaptable, but really just like a good learner, someone that is genuinely curious about themselves, about the market, just anything in general, that they want to learn, because obviously we've all been through the trading process, that you learn about yourself a lot more than you probably thought you would. I think a great trader is just someone that's always looking to learn more. They're never complacent and think they have it all figured out, that they handle losses well one week, the next week they don't. They're not like, oh, fuck, I thought I had that figured out. They're still hungry to learn and figure out themselves of why this thing keeps happening. Why am I still not progressing as fast as I thought that would be? Because the people around me are getting better. What is the next thing I need to work on? And just like the challenge of it and learning about themselves. And when I knew I was a great trader, he said, fuck, I don't know. I don't even think I am. I'm a good trader. But it really just comes with, like, when your habits start to line up with, like, the goals that you have. Like, you say you want to achieve 10,000 a month, but then you look back at like everything that you're doing, and it's like, I probably don't deserve that, because what I'm doing does not really line up with all the people that are out working me or out studying me or whatever the case may be, that once I actually stop tilting, stop doing things that I knew were wrong and try to do things that lined up with the visions and the goals that I wanted, then I was like, okay, well, now you're at least disciplined enough, and maybe you do deserve it because you're taking the steps necessary, or what I thought would be necessary to achieve what I wanted. That's when I thought, okay, yeah, you do have the right head on your shoulders for now than you did a week ago or 2 months ago.
You are a great trader, bro. You're humble. So there's another thing to take out of it. Humility, you know? Even calling yourself a great trader carries some weight that some of us don't want to carry. We'll come back to that. Go ahead. How do you define a great trader, and how did you know when you were becoming one?
So for me, I think that any trader who is just mature and professional is a good trader. The ones that are not doing that degen stuff, the ones that are not breaking their rules, the ones that are not treating it like a game. Like these evals and these sim-funded environments, they provide a safe environment for you to take a crack at this. And I think the trader that treats it all the same, right? Like eval, sim-funded live, personal funds, right? When you treat it the same every single time, I think that's the makings of a good trader, because I think one of the most underutilized things is the practice account. Like, you guys have a practice account. Like, that's where you test things. That's where you break your rules on purpose. That's where you do the degen stuff, is in that practice account. And I knew that I was getting to the point of becoming a great trader when I no longer had anxiety or even concern around the outcome of the trade. Because one of the things I say that's kind of like, it sounds like a contradiction, and it's hard for people to wrap their heads around it, but, you know, a good trade can be a losing trade if you followed your rules. You stuck to your plan, right? Even if the trade didn't work out because you were either right and tight or you were just flat out wrong, but you committed to the rules and the process and it didn't work out, you still did the right thing, even though it didn't pay you.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of definitions for it, but for me, what I think a great trader is, and when I felt myself becoming a better trader, was when I started to fall in love with the process, with the journey, right? And oftentimes we're on this hunt for profitability. And I even hate the word, like you guys said earlier, the way that we speak about it, like we're gonna flip a page one day and be this great trader. And it's just gonna be roses and rainbows. We're gonna make money every day and it's all green P&Ls. And that's never the case. And once I really accepted that, and I watched the guys above me that were doing really, really well, that were continuing to work on themselves like everybody up here. And it wasn't one day they just made it after a couple years and that's it, and it's great now. That's what I define as a great trader, someone that stays a student in the game, constantly looking to improve, continue to get better, and falls in love with the journey, the process of trading itself, and of that never-ending improvement, right? As you get better, as you get risk management down, your strategy down, you face different demons, and it's a kind of a never-ending process as you start to scale, right? If you make it in one account, you're going to want to maybe copy trade more accounts. Maybe you're going to get to a live account. You're going to eventually want to scale up. You are facing that never-ending challenge of getting better, managing more risk. And if you become a person that is constantly able to be resilient and be looking forward to that next step, that's how you become great.
Let's talk about that word, resilience. You've all mentioned it. What builds resiliency in this business? You want to whack at that, Zach?
Yeah, so it's a little bit part of my presentation coming up next, but I think a lot of it is built around trading in your personal life, outside of trading, right? So within trading, it's showing up every day, it's doing what you need to do, following your system, really controlling your emotions or being aware of your emotions and creating new responses to them. But I think it's built in other areas of our life, right? And I kind of talk about this a lot. If you're undisciplined in every other area of your life, what in God's good name makes you think that you'll be disciplined when there's money on the line? It's not going to happen. So creating the right habits outside of trading itself, going to bed early, reading, studying, actually reviewing your trades around trading, maybe picking up a hobby. Maybe you're not going to run ultra marathons like me, but you're going to go on a walk every day. You're going to read 10 minutes of a trading psychology book. So it's creating this discipline in other areas of your life that you bring to the chart that builds resiliency, right? Because if you have the confidence that you don't break promises to yourself, you go on that walk, you do whatever that thing that you do is, the hard thing every day, when it's time to wrap it up after 2 L's or 3 L's like me today, unfortunately, quick ones, that you do. And you don't, go crazy, go on tilt, blow the account. So that's how I think you can build a lot of resiliency outside of trading itself to bring to trading.
Ev, and then Isaac? Building resiliency.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the trader just being honestly delusional. I mean, we've all got into trading saying, okay, like 95% fail. I want to do that. Like that sounds probably like I could make that work. I have no idea what it is, but I think I'll have a Lambo in about a month. If 95% fail, I should be pretty good at it. But it's that delusion that you deserve it and that you think you can accomplish it no matter how much you've failed or how many losses you've taken. You want to still figure it out, that you think, I don't care how long it's taking me. I think I could do this. I know I can do this. That's why I'm going to keep on pushing. I mean, that's why if you're here, you haven't given up. That's a matter of, I think any successful trader is just one that didn't stop. There's plenty of traders that we've all experienced the same shit in the beginning. It's just a matter of, well, if you're still here today, it's because you just didn't quit. That you need to have like that delusional self-talk in a positive way, that you're taking all these lessons as like, oh, this is a challenge. I love it. I'm going to keep on getting better. Just wait and see. Give me 3 months. You'll see how much better I can get. I mean, like anyone in this room, I think it just takes time if you could believe in yourself.
So before I could probably add to that, I would ask you, like, how would one measure resilience?
I think it's like that bandwidth we were kind of talking about of like resiliency would be, in my head, you'd have no resilience if you're quickly swayed from the goals you set on Monday. By Wednesday, you're on to something different. You're not resilient. You're not consistent. You're not staying with it.
Yeah,
so like resiliency in the bandwidth on trader, like the resilient trader takes that first loss, knows he followed his system, and still can take the second trade with no issue. So how do you build that is the question.
I don't think you do. I think, like, it's got to be something that you bring to the table coming into this, because going back to that, like, 95%, it's less than that of people who, like, won't make it. So I think people who are naturally resilient, but then it ties into that consistency and that discipline, you're the ones that have a shot. Not even the ones that are going to make it, but the ones that have a shot at making it, everyone else gets flushed out quick. And they're so stubborn and ignorant or whatever that they keep trying when it's just obvious like they're never going to have a shot at this. So I think it's just people who have that natural resilient nature that are the ones that have a decent chance of succeeding in this. I don't think it's something that's built up in trading.
Who here thinks of themselves as someone who is resilient? Oh, see, they hands up fast on that one. That's good. I wonder like how much external motivation feeds resilience. You know what I'm saying? I think about it like when my dad hated that I was trading and that I dropped out of college. He hated it. So I stopped talking to him. I literally surrounded myself with people that fed me becoming more resilient. Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, people that were motivating me financially or even just through the energy that they put out. That like getting motivated by people, I think helped me become more resilient. Because I don't know if anyone is born as a, maybe some people are, and they are just resilient. They never give up. You need a little kick. So what do you guys turn to for motivation? Zach, you want to go? What's like an external thing that you look to for, let's just call it entrepreneurial motivation?
Yeah, entrepreneurial motivation. So I'm going to say probably other areas of my life, external desires. For me, wanting to be able to take care of my family, wanting to be able to give back to the humble beginnings of my mom, my dad, which I've been able to do, gratefully over the last few years, and have more time to spend with nieces, right? Trading provides a lot of freedom and flexibility, this entrepreneurial journey. So I do look to that, right? Like if I'm having a really tough day, I look to that outside source, and I think we all have that. It's gonna be different for everybody. Maybe it's personal, right? It's not as, whatever, it's for the family. Maybe it's for you, right? You've been working really hard all your life. You want to, have nice things. You want to be able to do nice things, experience life itself and travel. But whatever that outside driver is, bring that in, and not in that materialistic way where it's money focused, but on what this means to you. Why are you here behind the charts? And if you can kind of picture that and visualize that a bit, it can really kick in when you're having a tough day or when you're having a good day, and you start to have those demons kick in and we start to go on tilt or want to continue to trade. And I reflect on that, and I'll journal a little bit. After a bad day, I'll think, man, what are you doing back here? You're supposed to be doing this as a really serious professional career. Look at what's on the line. Look at what is to be gained and to be lost. And so that's a big motivator for me.
Family. What about you, Isaac? Any external motivators that feed you becoming more resilient?
Not too much. I think that the more from the outside you allow into trading, I think the higher the likelihood of you not succeeding. So like for me, I love winning, right? And I like money. I like spending money. I love winning, but I hate losing more than winning. I understand that you can't win all the time, right? You look at like racing, right? Like championships. Like think about how like you can win so many times throughout a season, right? But not win the championship, right? Or having an excellent race and you only end up on like third or second. That's fine for me, right? Because there's progress there, there's success there, there's wins there. For me, to lose means you're the bottom of the barrel. Right, the loser is like really that last one, and I refuse to lose. Like I've lost so much in my life. I've gotten to the point where I've lost just about everything except for my life and family. Right, where I'm like I refuse to get anywhere near that side of the spectrum. So it's just like onward and upward. And then I'm just real big on that whole rising tide should lift all ships. So it's like I don't like winning by myself. Now, if you're not going to get on board, then right, I'm going to keep going with or without you. However, I'd like you to be there with me. Right, like let's win together. But that's really just what motivates me is like seeing people succeed. I think that's ultimately how I ended up in this Discord and doing stuff like this, because like I don't have to do this. Like I could be on a yacht somewhere, right? But it's just like I get a lot of gratification and like I want to see where all of you guys are at 6 months from now. I don't do it for the patent backs, but like when you send me that message and it's just like, yeah, I got my first payout. I got called out to live. I paid off this debt. I took my family on vacation. That's the shit that excites me.
Anything from you, Ev?
Yeah, I remember when I was first starting out, for anyone that doesn't know, I have 2 older brothers, and to tie it with Isaac, at first I was like, it was like egotistical. I was like, I want to be like special, like different. Like I just want to, like they're just better than me. They're older than me, cooler than me, taller, everything. I just like, I need to stand out and be like special. I want to be your brother. But then as I got older, it was, I want us all to eat. Like I don't want to take down my own brothers. Like I was like jealous of them, or I thought they were cool at first, but then it was like, let's just all eat together. Like there doesn't have to be one stand out. And then to tie it to also, it's just family of like just wanting to have control of my own life, to take care of my brothers and my parents and my whoever, and I don't have to be special to do that. I could have everybody be included in that, and just for anyone, it's like the challenge and the love of winning that. Every day is somewhat the same, but it's also like you think you have it figured out and there's a new challenge, there's a new stressor, there's a new something that there's just always something. It's never a dull day in trading. That just exciting, and I would rather that than a cubicle job for sure.
Is anyone in here super self-motivated? Yeah? A little bit. So like something I would think about is what do you do to yourself? What can you do to fill your own cup? We talked about that a little bit yesterday. Because if the cup is full, you can give to other people. But also when the cup is full, you are more likely to evolve, I think. When you're running on half empty, you're probably not getting the most output. So something I do is on Sunday mornings, I'll have my coffee before the kid wakes up, a little joint, and some loud music. Set the state, right? The sounds, the smell, all of that changes the way you think. I can sit there, not just plan my week, I now start to plan the entire month. As an entrepreneur, not just my trading, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be in the chat with David and Evan, and we're going to just do what we do. So sometimes the growth and evolution is like a pause. I need to slow down, no disrespect, because I agree with your answers about family, but I don't think about family when I want to evolve. My wife and my kid are motivation, but they're not going to tell me what to do to become the better version of myself. So I got to sit there and get in the zone. Like Kobe Bryant, again, before he plays the game, he's in the zone. You don't play. You think you tell jokes to Kobe Bryant, bro, before a basketball game? No, he's locked in. So I think sometimes you can find that evolution and that growth through self-motivation, through self-care. Do something that fills your cup. You might come up with that next new idea that takes your business to the next level. Especially as you start making more money, like Tanner said yesterday. You start doing well, you look around, everybody else around you is not growing as fast. How do you stay growing? Well, of course, you pay to get in rooms like this and get around other people, but you also got to go to the gym, put the headphones on, and do this and get your mind and your state a little bit different to allow new ideas to come in that lead to evolution. You guys want to add anything on that?
Yeah, I wanted to build off that. So I do use family as motivation. I do think about family a lot, these opportunities for them, but I definitely don't want it to be misinterpreted. And Joey had a really good way of kind of saying what you just said. You need to become the best version of yourself to be there for everybody else. Like, you're never going to be able to provide for anybody else or, give these things to your family or give back whatever it is you want to do if you're not the best version of yourself. And that does mean being selfish to a degree in certain areas, right? Like, I spend a lot of time on working out, doing the training.
On a bike by yourself.
Doing these things, right? Like long runs, long rides, listening to, constant psychology books on tape, trading psychology. But you have to become the best version of yourself 100%. And whatever that means to you, right? It's going to be different for everybody, but take that time. And I think oftentimes these days, because I see it in so many people's families, so many things, people are just running themselves ragged around their jobs, trying to do great at their job, not taking care of themselves. Like, if you're on the charts all day for 14 hours, ripping Red Bulls and thinking you're going to be doing great coming into FOMC or, whatever it is, like, it's not it. It's not it. That's not how this, is built. It's not how anything is built. So,
yeah. Well said. Anything you guys want to add on that? So then let's think back for a second. If evolution means like coming from here to here, let's think. When you first started trading, what would be some advice that you could tell that version of you, day one, of how he could grow faster and how he could evolve into the version sitting on stage faster? Isaac, you want to go?
It's a little tough for me because I started so long ago that so much has changed. Like, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of you guys, like everything from, first off, the options, right? How many funding firms and prop firms there are now compared to 12 years ago. Pricing's changed. The ability to get paid on monopoly money, like you can take payouts, real money to your bank account on fake gains. And again, just like the copy trading, it's changed so much. Like also these communities, right? YouTube, live streams, Discord, Patreon, none of that stuff existed when I started. So you guys have an opportunity that most people did not have when they started. Exploit that to your advantage as best as you can, right? Like, use the tools and the resources. It's hard. There's a lot of BS out there, and it's hard figuring out how to sift through that. There's a lot of frauds, a lot of scams, inconsistent stuff. Prop firms disappear, people disappear. Just get the same way you got to get really good at identifying trades. Identify what's actually useful and resourceful, and then just leverage the hell out of it.
That's a good answer, but you didn't answer my question. What would you tell younger Isaac? I know it was a long time ago. You just told us how long ago it was that you're old. Cool. What would you tell him?
Just stay.
You like how I don't let him go?
Yeah, no, for me, it would just be, and I think it's ultimately what brought me here is like, just stay the course, right? Just focus on the process, and everything else is going to work itself out. And like, I can say, through the good and the bad, up markets, down markets, this president, this virus, this terrorist attack, like, I'm still here. Like, that resilience, I think, just shows over time.
Facts.
Like, just keep your head down, focus on the process, and the results, whether that's a ranking, whether that's a dollar amount, whether that's an award, that stuff will come if you just focus on the process.
Notice he doesn't want to change anything. the one that's been trading the longest up here, doesn't regret anything. He would just tell his younger self, buy in. You're going to go where you want to go. Stick to it. Buy in. It's going to take longer than you thought. But he doesn't want to change anything. He's not like, I would have gone back and joined this one Discord instead of that. That wouldn't have made a difference. So notice the lack of regret. That's a mindset thing for sure.
I do think I made the most of the things I had available to me. Like
That's
it,
huge.
right?
You have to. You got to squeeze it. You want to add anything, Ev or Zach?
Yeah, removing that expectation and like the timeline that you give yourself when you get into trading. I mean, it's like it's going to take longer than you want and you think it's going to take, but the good news is it's also up to you of how long it could take. That it's up to you of how much you want to put into it is what you're going to get out of it. That I remember in the beginning of my trading, at least, thankfully, I didn't really have much expectations of it, of making it work super fast, or I needed to work out super fast, so I was willing to give it as much time as it needed to. So I was fine sucking in the beginning because I was aware of it. I was expecting it to. So I think if you just remove the expectation and, like Isaac was saying, just trust the process that this is just what I have to go through. This is what everyone has gone through, and if I could just make it to the other side, I will be where they're at, whoever you're looking up to. That the only way to not get where they're at or whoever you're looking up is just by quitting. That's the only way. That's just
Amen.
a matter of, it may take you 2 years, it may take you 3, some may take 6 months because of whatever past experience they've had in the market or not the market, that you can't compare yourself to others of, I feel like I'm not progressing enough. I feel like I should be further along because the people around me are doing so much better. Who cares? Stick in your lanes, trust your own fate and in your future. And then, like I said, it's in your hands. That if you give up, that's the only way you're going to quit. If you quit, that's the only way you're not going to make it. But yeah, trusting the process, I wouldn't change anything either. And I wouldn't even know, nothing would make a difference.
I mean, y'all don't know. I picked up Evan when he was 8. We brought him into the academy. He's been with us forever. Like, basically like the Messi of trading, Hasn't seen his family in 10 years. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so for me, again, not changing anything I think is great because everybody's on their own journey and you can't go back and look at anything with regret. But something I would tell myself would be to slow down, size down, and slow down. There's a great example from Best Loser Wins, Tom Hogard. It's a tightrope example. I think it's from that book.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. But essentially, if you wanted to learn how to walk across a tightrope in between 2 buildings, that was the goal. You wouldn't put it in between 2 buildings and try to walk across it, right? You'd put it in between 2 trees where it's 4 inches off the ground, where risk is very low, and you'd walk across it 1,000 times. And if you did step off, you'd lose $50 in a prop account, not thousands of dollars like I was doing in live Forex funds and crypto before that. And many of us do, just come in way too hot. And then as you raise that tightrope up, nothing changes. You're walking across the same tightrope, same distance, but something does change. Your knees get weak, palms get sweaty, you're nervous, there's risk on the line. You're not able to think about just walking across the tightrope, just trading, just executing your system the same way as when it's on the ground. So many of us want to get to where we're walking across that tightrope in between 2 buildings. There's no rush to get there, and you're making the risk and you're putting the game in impossible mode. When you fall off, you're losing way more than you need to in capital. You're paying that tuition way more than you need to, and you're never able to think about actually just walking across the tightrope and giving yourself a chance to learn that. So slow down, size down. There's always room to scale. There's infinite opportunity now with prop firms and monopoly money. It's one of the best times, in my humble opinion, to be a trader as far as I'm aware.
The best.
Yeah, so you got time. That's what I would tell you. Yeah, that's what I would tell yourself. You do have to size up. You have to challenge yourself continually. That's part of the journey. But, some of you guys are only a year in, a couple years in. If you're oversized, there's no amount of psychological, what's that Brett Steinberger quote? There's no mental amount of psychological work that you can do that will help a vastly over-leveraged trader. So size down, slow down.
Were you going to jump in on that, Isaac? No. Okay, great stuff. Thoughts so far? Anything you guys want to hop in on? I got a good question to finish this panel. What does the next version of yourselves look like? Everyone looks at you. Richer. Good answer. Ideally for everyone in the room. But think about it, right? You're now in the position, you're on the stage, everybody wants to learn from you. They're not really thinking to themselves until I just said that. What do you think this guy's going to be doing in a year or 2? They're focused on themselves. So I think it'd be super insightful to hear from you guys as far as like, what are you doing to continue to grow and evolve? And what does that next version of you look like? Go ahead, Zach, and then Ev. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think it's just that never-ending getting better. So like right before this panel, I'm talking to Isaac about his system, his approach. Even 6 years in, I'm taking payouts every month now from Top Step, multiple. Last month just took the payout. So I'm at that spot, but I'm still looking to improve. So the better version of myself, I think, would be just personally for me in these markets, it's tricky. And something that's helped me has been getting a little bit more objective, and this is kind of technical, but just objective with my levels, with the tools that I'm using. So I've come to volume profile levels over discretionary support and resistance, a little more objectivity in my trading where becoming very discretionary, using my intuition, using my subjective interpretation of price action was very helpful. I have to question, within my results, how much that's helping me versus hurting me. So just improving, continuing to improve as a trader, getting more consistent, and continuing to scale, right? We all have to face this never-ending raising up of that tightrope, and it's the same tightrope that we're walking across, but as more money is on the line, more accounts are being copy traded, you're in a live account and you want to scale up, you have to become that, great risk manager that can trade large size. So I think in a couple years from now, that's where I'm at. More consistent, better win rate, better R multiple, which we're going to talk about next, and managing more size.
I like it. Good, Ev. And then Isaac.
Yeah, I think I probably have a Lotus, pull it up next to this guy's, and then we'll pull up to the yachts together and just be flexing our cash. But in the future, I think it's really about, for me, scale and getting better at risk. I mean, per account, I'll look like a $3,000 loss per account. I'd be like, oh, shit, that's going to be a bad one. That's going to be a bad look. But I want to get comfortable. That's not actually a larger trade. That's your normal risk now because your account's 50,000, 60,000. Now you have a large buffer. It's all relative, right? Everyone's, I took a massive loss today. It was like $500. It's like, yeah, at one point that is a big loss. Then 1,000 is, then 2,000 isn't even big when you were complaining about $200 losses in the past. I just want to get better at risk, my perception of it, so that I can scale quicker. Because, I mean, I'd love to have $50,000 months, but it's like, holy fuck, $10,000 loss in one day. I'm not going to accept that very well today, but I like to get to the place where that doesn't really trigger too much emotion.
Block out the P&L, just make it tick some points. It's a little bit easier. I want to double up in size. It's even in a decade, it's been hard for me to become a 5+ contract trader. So I don't think it'll be by the end of this year, but at some point next year, I'd like to be trading up to 10 contracts. Because again, it's all the same, right? It's just, do you have enough equity for that drawdown? I think copy trading is the way. What would I have changed? Copy trade. Like when everybody else was doing it and I was too proud to copy trade. Just because it's a real easy fast track way to scaling up. So personally, I just want to like double my size. Well, more than double my size. I want to get up to 10 contracts on a regular basis, and then more intermediate term, I want to trade some institutional money. So I want to pull some funds together and trade like $5 million or something.
I think to double your size, they sell a pump for that.
I tried it. Doesn't work.
Come on, it's Friday. Somebody
Doesn't
got
work.
that. That was good. Come on.
I can confirm that it does not work.
It does not work. I'll jump in on this one because I want to share something. I think what I'm going to try to do as I go forward is be more balanced. I want to be a better person to people that I'm close to. I want to be a better father. I think if I focus on those things, like actually being a better human, I'll probably trade better. Because I'm Jewish, I'm naturally attracted to making money. So like I just got to align the stars, and the God should do the thing that he's supposed to do. But I'm serious because I think often we do get into this mode that they are coming through. They are coming through the dirt as a trader and coming out of it, right? And a lot of you probably think you're still in the dirt. While you're in the dirt, don't neglect the things that make you actually like have value in the world. Because do you really think whether you make 60 or 600 grand in a day that actually to other humans makes you more valuable? Maybe it gets you a promotion. Maybe it gets you another beach house. Maybe it gets you a nicer car. But does it truly make you more valuable to just make more money? You'd be alone. You're that lonely rich guy or girl sitting in the mansion killing himself, literally. So I think I would just give you guys all advice of try to find balance even while you're in your hustle mode, if that's where you're at. Because now I'm coming out of the hustle mode a little bit, trying to really be selective with my time, and I wish I have more balance because I don't have a lot of balance in my time, you know? Good? Give it up for the boys. Great panel.